Right, our dough has rested. I've even exaggerated it just a slight bit, just to, yeah, that's about right, actually. Now it's at eye level. But yeah, it's just doming the top of the bowl, and it's looking good. So I'm happy with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it out, and we are going to weigh the dough, and then we're going to work out, divide by 12, how much is going to be in each portion. I do it individually every time because there's slight variations in if you shouldn't misweigh anything, but just in case something is slightly different, or you put a bit more fruit in, or a little, the odd 5 grams here there, they all tot up. And the other thing as well, which is worth mentioning, is sometimes you leave a bit of scrapings in the bowl, which will that'll affect it as well. So I'm tipping it upside down. So when I meant to say upside down, basically the top of the dough is now on the bench. Let's weigh the bowl and get somewhere near, so I know what I'm doing. And just because, which you can't see, so I'll move them. Just because I've kind of moved it on the bench like that, what you'll notice is there's oil on the top. So I'm going to use that bit to my advantage. So when I'm going to kind of turn it over, so it's all got oil on the whole thing, if that makes sense, like that. Like that. So it's got oil on the outside now, which is not very good doing it with one hand, is it? No, it's not. So I'll put the camera back. Oh, it is. Get a grip, son. Get a grip. Come on. So let's now I've got this ball which is lightly oiled on the outside because of our oil in the bowl. So let's get that in. 1282. Alexa, what's 1282 divided by 12?
1282 divided by 12 is approximately 106.8333.
Right, 106.8333. So I'm going to make each one 106.8333. Yeah, I won't even remember the 106 to be fair. So 106 is good enough. So we've got that there. So all we're going to do is we're going to cut portions off, give ourselves a bit of an idea how big the portion is. So once we've got 106, we kind of look at the size of the dough and think, right, that's how big now I'm looking for. So there's 107. So I'll give it a slight roll in my hand like this while it's like that, and sort of pre-form my ball. So that's helpful. Now, if I look at the size now and put that on plus a bit of that, I'll get somewhere near me 106. So it becomes less choppy away and more precise as you go, or it should do, in theory. Everything's good in theory, isn't it? But there you go, 106. So crack on. And since you're here, you might as well do it. Might as well have a little chat as we normally do. You think, not again, Jason, not again. We've had enough of your little chats. I know how it is. 105. And that'll be 106. You get to know what a gram looks like, a gram of dough. There we go. So let's crack on. So yeah, I was not displeased with the other ones. Don't get me wrong. What I'm going to try to do as well, I might as well talk to you about it now, is I'm going to try and do something different with the glaze on the top. Not the glaze, the cross. So that the glaze itself, that'll do. The glaze itself, it's just like the sugar coating. And what it does is the sugar forms a bit of a sticky cover, which does help to soften the top. But essentially as well, what a glaze does, everybody likes something that looks shiny. You don't even have to be a magpie for that. Anybody looks at it's just a thing which is attractive. Shiny food is an attractive thing. That's why quite often you have to get things glazed, your meats glazed, everything. If they can make it shiny, it just looks that tad more attractive. 106. There we go. A tad more attractive with a bit of a shiny coat on it. Just the way it is. It's what appeals to us. Certain things to appeal to our senses, and yeah, shiny things do. There you go. That need a bit more than that. So yeah, going back to that, I use apricot jam. However, you could use. So I'm going to go through like a variety of things what you could use. So I had somebody mention this on the site today, and I said yes, absolutely. So you could use, instead of the apricot jam, you could use like a thin glazing of icing. But it'd have to be like a thin coat. You don't want icing on the top. So a thin coat of icing, and instead of using water, you could, if you wanted, use a bit of orange juice or lemon juice in your icing. And that would do the job. You could, another way around it. So anything, just think anything sweet. So golden syrup, for example, you'd have to heat it up and maybe, let it down with a bit of hot water, but you could use that. The other thing I was toying with doing, because I thought it might actually be nice to do it, is maple syrup over the top. I thought, yeah, sweet, and it is quite it's quite fluid, maple syrup. So that would work quite well. I don't know whether it dry at all, or I think it certainly would sink in more than some of the other glazes. So you could use maple syrup. Like I say, the choices. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't use raspberry jam or anything like that. It's going to be the wrong flavour profile. But any kind of anything clear, sweet. I mean, if you wanted to, you could make a stock syrup. So stock syrup is 50-50 water and sugar. So you bring that to a boil in a pan, and you could put things in it. Additives. You could put some, you could put some cloves in there. Some, some of the maybe reflect some of the flavours which are in it, cloves or orange peel or cinnamon stick or anything like that. That would reflect some of the flavours. And then paint some of that on. What you'd probably have to do is you'd have to let it down a little bit, like let it down. You'd have to boil it a little bit just so it thickens a tad, because it can be quite watery with stock syrup. So yeah, anything like that would do. So I'm going to stick with the today, just to keep things a bit more continuity. I am going to stick with the after saying all that. So you've said all that and you're just going to use apricot. Yeah. But it's worth considering, isn't it? It's all part of the deal. It's all part of the gig, as they say. We're nearly there. I've been a bit slapdash with this. I think I've got the odd gram extra on the odd one. So this last one might be a bit short, 106 exactly. Beautiful. Let's have a go. It might not be. Let's have a go. 106. Hey, look at that. So even in my talk and everything else, I haven't been as slapdash as I maybe thought I have been. So that's all good. Right, I'm going to turn this off because I've just started the washer with my leg on the washing machine. I tell you. Right, I can tell that is a bit sticky, that door. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to come back in and I'm going to show you a little trick. So a little trick is just using a tad of oil. Don't use much oil because it'll cause you a problem. First thing, if you've got any sticky stuff on the bench, take the sticky stuff off. Otherwise, it kind of defeats the object and you'll end up with a problem at that end. And all we're going to do, just either lightly oil our hands or just a touch on each one. Not swimming, because that'll cause problems. It'll just start skating around. So what I'm going to do is, I've got my tray. Let's dust that with flour, because these are going to join together as a bunch of hot cross buns. So you might say, why not use flour? Well, you can, but you have the same problem. You can have things skidding around with flour. So I'm just going to, just put literally a drop on each one. Just some, actually it's too much on some of them. So I'm just going to take the excess and just touch each one like that. And then I'm going to use this. I'm going to bring it, and then I'm going to put my hand over it like a claw, like that. And I'm going to roll the dough around between my hand and press down slightly, and it'll form a ball, as I'll show you here. So going round and round. There you go, it forms a ball. Nice smooth tight ball. There you go, number one. So let's get these on the tray. If I can, I'm going to get the tray down here so I can space them out properly this time. Last time I was a bit, I didn't get them properly spaced. To be fair, they were a bit too far apart, some of them. So here we go. And the tighter you get the ball, yeah, it will help you along the way, because you're kind of helping everything, like I said before, that tension as it rises and blows up just keeps everything even, and you get a better shape at the end of the day. You get a better bun, a better shape from your bun. If it's not, it'll be a bit floppy and they go all over. Now, I have seen some people that have done, and they've done a great job, don't get me wrong. And sometimes the shape just looks a little bit skew, and the main reason, like I say, I'm not being critical at all, because, but I'm trying to be kind of constructive. The main reason is because the shaping at the end. This is what kind of gives you the shaping at the end is basically what you're going to end up with your final product, whether it be a loaf or your buns or whatever. So the shaping is important. So if we get things nice and taut, like that one is, nice and tight, and we're going to space everything evenly. The other thing that's worth mentioning, I said about putting the oil on. If you wanted to and you didn't want to do any of that, you can just simply walk away and leave it for 5-10 minutes, like I said with the other, and that will eventually, that will form a bit of a skin over the top, and it'll just make it easy to handle. And then you're not putting any oil or anything on there. But I've seen it with you can. I mean, two times I use the flour normally is at the shaping point, especially if I'm doing loaves, and for the tray itself, so it doesn't stick. And generally, that's the only time I use any additional flour. And I'm just trying to keep these nice and, well, say nice and tight, not tight, but just evenly spaced, finger space apart. I'm taking my time with these. I mean, I'm not, like I say, I could just whiz through it. But you know, you put all this effort in to the whole thing. You think, why just kind of rush something, which I did the other day because I didn't have the time. Why for the sake of a couple of minutes? Just make it nice. That's all the differences, you know. All the differences, generally, why does that look good? And it's not normally one big thing, you know. It's normally lots of little things which make a big difference. And that is kind of the moral of the story with a lot of cooking and that. It's not doing one big thing different. Lots of little things, doing your best at every little stage. And the end result is kind of a better product. Why? Because you've put love and care in. And that's what I keep on trying to re-emphasize over and over. Just putting that love and care, you know, it means so much. Because you literally, you know, you're putting yourself on a baking tray. Not, you know, literally, you know, metaphorically speaking. I wouldn't fit on one of these baking trays. No, even if I dieted for 6 months, I still wouldn't fit on one of them. Anyway, enough said. I'm going to cover these over now. Bit of cling film, and they're going to sit there till. And this is the proven stage. See if I get a nice bit of cling. I've changed my cling film as well. I was sick to death of getting the box of cling film out with the little cutter on. And honestly, I was needing A&A every time I went in the cupboard. I only had to get something else out, and I cut myself on the cling film. So I've got rid of it. A bit more expensive, but I don't have all the cuts I used to, because they last for ages. Don't have head as well. No one to you. It's like a little saw cut, and it literally is saw for days and days. Anyway, I've took enough of your time now. You're thinking, right, you've done your buns, get lost. I know what you're thinking. I know exactly what you were thinking there. So I'm going to go and get lost now. Leave these do their thing. These are going to prove, this is the proven stage. Once they've been shaped, these are proven. And this is what will, say the problem I had last time, I didn't prove them long enough. So when they went in, they started splitting. So when we come back, we're going to top them with a cross. I'm going to tell you what I've done to make the paste for the top, because I'm still thinking about that one. And we'll get back to you. So bye for now. We'll see you soon. Take care.